أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh and welcome on Youth in Karbala with me, your host, Sakina Habib. First and foremost, I would like to extend my heartfelt condolences to you all on the martyrdom of the Master of Martyrs, Aba Abdullah al Hussein alayhi salam, and his companions, and also I would like to offer my condolences to the time of our to the Imam of our time, Imam al Mahdi, Ajallahu Ta'ala, Farajahu Sharif. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all our ibadas and amals during this Ayam Azam. As you know, that this time on Youth and Karbala, I'll be having some very hardcore discussions that are very much relatable to our daily lives. And it's going to be a 10-day series where each day we'll be tackling and unpacking a topic from which we can learn how to redefine ourselves and refine ourselves spiritually, mentally, and intellectually, because Muharram is all about refining oneself and bringing a transformative change. What is my purpose after I go and attend these lectures and attend these majalises during the Ayam Aza? How can I self improve myself? And the Muharram really is like a New Year's resolution for us, just like how in the Gregorian calendar, when it's the beginning of January, how one sets goals. Okay, this is what I want to do this year to make myself better. So when it comes to Muharram, it is more about how soulfully can I connect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and become a better human being. Now, on today's episode, inshallah, we'll be touching upon a very relatable and a very uh, connected topic, something that you and I go through every day, and that is social media. Now, this is the question that pops up in all the minds today, be it adults, be it youth, be it whoever is in the community and society. And the question is that social media is a part of our lifestyle. It is almost impossible to keep ourselves out of the oblivious. So, how can one take great care of their mental health in this case? And this is very important because every day you and I are scrolling on our phones and we want to check the latest highlights, the latest news, the latest updates about what's really happening around the world. How is one dressing up? What has one achieved today? It could be related to relationships. Who's getting married, who's getting engaged, who's had a baby, and who's excelling in whatever career, and all those things that we see. And now here's what happens, right? We begin to compare our lives with each other. If you remember a couple of years back, like let's say 10, 15, 20, 30 years back, social media never existed. There were no media gadgets, and people, conversed with each other. If we would call someone, we would use the normal telephones, okay, that are of course outdated today. And there were times when, we used to remember each other's phone numbers, right? How many of us actually remember each other's numbers by heart today? I mean, even when it comes to our own spouses, it's very difficult if we're in an emergency situation and someone asks us to dial the number of our husband or the number of your wife or the number of your child. And we on the spot hesitate because we know that, okay, the phone is there and everything is stored in the memory. And so I don't need to remember it, right? So this is a drastic change that we're seeing, that how much we've become so dependent on social media and on our electronic gadgets that we're hardly using our brain memory anymore, which is like, this is the natural thing that God has gifted us with. And so one should use it. But we're becoming lazier day by the day and we're taking things for granted. And also, if you notice, social media really takes a toll on our mental health, and it plays with your mind. Now, let me tell you something, and these are some hardcore facts, okay? So, number one, don't let social media fool you. There are people with only 3 to 9 likes on their posts, but in reality they have plenty of friends, so some people, they usually say, oh, for example, this person puts a lot of things on their social media, and we sort of judge them, but you actually don't know what's the reality. This is something that they're showing you through the lens of social media, but they might have their life in private as well, which they don't post on social media. So that's one thing. Second thing, people with 100 plus likes are sometimes people who are the loneliest in this world. And by very means, I, trying to tell you that, the celebrities somehow that we see, on Instagram and on TikTok and all these other social media apps, we're seeing, oh, they're partying and having a great time. And someone hosted this amazing friends party, and they had all the glitters and glam. Once all that is done, after that, who do they have to sit and comfort themselves with? Who do they have to sit and talk to about what happened throughout their whole day? Or what are the problems that they're going through in their lives? It could be financial problems, it could be mental health related problems, it could be anything. And then who do they have? So sometimes they really don't have anybody to talk to. And when they see that they're not getting that enough attention from their viewers and from the audience on social media, they begin to have this low self-esteem, and then that's how they fall into anxiety and depression. Now, third point, couples who look so happy together yet are miserable as hell. And this is something normal. We've seen it a lot of times. There are couples who post or their whereabouts, and wherever they're having a wonderful time together, posting their rings together, and their photo shoots and how they're cuddling and all of that. But in reality, they might be having a lot of arguments in the background that we don't know about. There might be a lot of misunderstandings in their normal real life that we don't know about. And I'm sure you must have been seeing a lot of these examples right now on the internet, viral examples, from like worldwide celebrities, who used to post a lot about being the best couple and, doing things together. And turns out that, right now they're divorced, right? And yeah, they're divorced, and, they're going for second and third marriages. And, people, that's what people have said, that, it's because they used to post a lot about each other's lives. And, it's probably because the audience was like so attracted into knowing what's happening every time in their lives, each and every detail. And this is what it ends up to sometimes. Okay, and right now we're seeing a couple of examples. I'm sure you all must be knowing about it, so we need to be careful about that as well. Then people who don't post pictures of themselves and their significant other, but are in a beautiful and a loving relationship. So sometimes it's possible we don't see, a lot of that hype, but then sometimes, that relationship is actually much more beautiful. And let me give you a very good example about our parents. For example, have you noticed when it's like Mother's Day or Father's Day, how some people are like posting these pictures? Oh, I got these flowers for my mom today. Oh, I baked a cake for her. Oh, I've gifted her a car today. And the same goes for the dads as well. Oh, I've done this, maybe my father was sick or something, so I've gone to visit him at the hospital. And so really, like, the question over here is that, is it just to get those likes and comments from the audience, or do you really do it with your heart? What is your actual purpose? What is your reality? Are you really doing this for your parents? Do you really want to, sort of get their duas and, get that acceptance? Are you really doing it for the satisfaction of your soul, or is it just for viewership? So we need to break that line, that what is real and what is not. It's sometimes social media can make you feel like you're living a life full of illusion, and one would feel that this is the real world that exists, but actually it's not true. This is just an illusion. So you need to set your boundaries and know that how much can I post and how much can I not. There should be a given balance. So it's okay to post sometimes. Maybe if you're inspiring somebody, you're doing a really good deed, and you're inspiring someone out there, in a positive manner where it doesn't affect you mentally. It doesn't make you go like crazy, and it's not like you're doing it just for people pleasing. Then that's okay. But when you notice that you're doing this for people pleasing, that's when you should know that you're doing something wrong. Sometimes people who know each other very well but appear as strangers. So you must have noticed sometimes, like, when you're very close buddies with each other, and you talk to each other and everything normally, in real life, face to face. But when it comes to social media, it's possible that that person probably like doesn't, for example, like your posts or comment a lot or tag you a lot, or stuff like that. So people would go like, oh, you guys are like really good friends when we see you in real life, but how come this person doesn't even support your posts and likes on all the social media platforms? So it's not based on, like, our relationship should not be based on the likes and comments that we give each other. In fact, it is more important to have a connection face to face with a person. And also, if you are someone's friend online, the conversations that you have all together, how much you benefit from each other through those conversations, based on adding knowledge to each other, helping out each other in times of need. That is very important. That is the real essence of a true and a good and a genuine relationship. People who are up to their neck in debt yet live lavish Instagram life. So I'm sure you've seen that, people post pictures of these the most expensive cars in the world. Not right now, people are like having, for example, 2 3 cars, and they're making videos of it and posting it online and advertising. And they've got this amazing house, I don't know, taken from, based on real estate agency and all of that. And they're promoting each other. And the funny fact is that they've got so much of like that mortgage loans, and the taxes, and they're in debt. They've taken so many loans from people, but they're just showing off to the world for just a matter of hours, or like for a couple of days or months, something which is very temporary. But actually, what eats them in their heart and their mind is the unending debts and loans, that they have to uh, pay back, right? So, it's very important to live a simple life. Live it in the most simplest way, even if you've got not much, in the most reasonable expenses. But as long as you're happy, you've got your mental peace and your health, and you're happy with your family, and you know that you are doing it all for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Always keep that in mind, so that your life becomes very beautiful and livable. You shouldn't make your own life miserable for yourself. I want to now let you in on a secret. Can I let you in on a secret about friendships in adulthood? Sometimes they're really, really hard, like very, very freaking hard. But so often the friends we have in our adult years are the only things saving us from hitting rock bottom. Okay? So sometimes, yes, friendship is very important, and you should know what are the type of friends that you have in your circle. The truth is that even the strongest friendship bonds are not forged in stone. Just as life is ever changing, friendships will always ebb and flow. Sometimes, if you'll notice, your closest friends fade away into the background of your life. Now, you tell me, honestly speaking, all the friends that you've had in your life, starting from your school life, high school life, university, and all of that, okay, all throughout those years, how many of them are you still in touch with? And if you are, how many of them actually are concerned about you, ask about you, and are there to offer you any sort of guidance or whatever, or even just to ask about each other? Like, do you do that? Ask yourself, how many times have I contacted my high school friends today, and do I know what they're doing in their lives? Have they, like, I don't know, are they working somewhere? Have they graduated, taken a new course? Have they got married? What's really happening? So it's so important, like, do we ever think about these things as well in our lives? Like, the friends that we have in our circle are very important. Sometimes background friends somehow become part of your inner circle. I'm sure if you will just sit right now and sort of reflect, there were a couple of friends during my school years, for example, whom I thought I didn't get along with, because obviously during school days you've got these groups, and there's a lot of that friends and peer pressure and everything. So, like, you're very selective about who you want to hang out with. And so probably I wouldn't have hung out with a girl whom I thought was, like, maybe, boring, or not good at studies, or she was a nerd or something like that. And today, that friend actually has a connection with me because we spoke over, and we had an interaction, and we asked each other about each other's lives, like what's happening, and we somehow connected. And that's because there's nobody else now to judge us, right? Has that ever occurred to you? Yeah, so these are some things that you have to think about. It's about the honesty of a friend, like, based on your status, based on your living lifestyle. Is that why they want to be friends with you, or do they really genuinely care about you? Sometimes brand new people enter your life and become the friends you never knew you needed. And this often happens in that journey when you are excelling and when you are learning new things in your life. It could be from your teachers, from your professors, from your university students, from mentors that come in your life. It could be in your work. Where where, when in a company, it's the first time when you're working with someone, or in a firm, or it could be anything, a business firm or whatever. There are people from whom you learn a lot of things each day, and they're there to guide you, and they're there to support you and everything, and then eventually they become your family, they become your new friends. So those are also extremely good friends because they help you pave your path towards success, and it's like a teamwork that you're all working in together to produce something good. And sometimes your heart aches because it misses the friendships that used to be but are no more. So I'm sure that there must be some friends that you really want to have friendships with, or you wished that you guys would be like best friends throughout your life, like, especially when we're like kids, you've got that special best friend, and you think, oh, this person is going to be my buddy for the rest of my life, like, who's going to be there for me, or she's going to be there for me, and until we get married and until we have children, and that bond is going to remain same. So for some lucky people, yes, it happens, but for some, in most cases, it doesn't, because you're either moving out to a different city, or you get married to different families, or for whatever purposes. It could be like, maybe your job is somewhere else, or your career diversion was something else, and because of that you couldn't keep in touch. So here's a reminder: make sure that the people who really care about you and whom you really want to stick out with, make sure to keep that interaction and that connection with them. For those people who say that they don't need friends in their lives and want to remain lonely, rethink about it, because in at the end of the day, you are a human being, you've got your emotions and expressions, and you want to share it out with someone. Unless you're married, of course, that's a different case, but even then, you've always got a selective group of friends with whom you can share your heart out. It could be personal matters, it could be financial matters, sometimes even siblings can be those good friends, but depends again, because every family is different. Sometimes you need to be careful with whom you're sharing what. Not everybody has good intentions for you, and sometimes there's toxicity also in relationships, which we need to be careful about, of whether this person wants to be your friend because they want to seek an advantage from you. They just want to be your friends because what we call the friends with benefits sort of thing. If that sort of thing exists, then you should know where to stop, right? So that is also very important. No matter where you are in your adult friendship journey, don't overthink it and don't dwell in the past. So this was a short message for all the youths out there today. Be very careful about your friendships. Instead, hold on tight and ride the friendship wave, and also welcome the ones that find their way to you. Sometimes it's difficult to adjust to new circles in your life and to make new friends, and it happens a lot during the teen years, the teenage years, up until the early adulthood, like, okay, let's say, I don't know, maybe the age of 30 plus and all that. After that, of course, you become very mature and wise, so who, like, you, based on just a quick observation, you can tell whether this person can be in my good books or in my bad books. Yeah, so this is normal, but and there are some who are in the neutral category as well, right? So it's just one should be very adaptable and flexible into being able to socialize and be selective also when it comes to their friendships. As we spoke about friendship and friendships in adulthood and all of that today, my main message out here today is how, when we look into the context of Karbala, Imam Hussein alayhi salam had a very, very dear friend who supported him throughout his mission and was his friend throughout from the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's right. I'm sure you must have guessed it. So I'm talking about Janabe Habib ibn Madahir al-Asadi. Now, who was Habib ibn Madahir al-Asadi? He was in Karbala and he was one of the 72 companions who was killed alongside Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And we all know that the relationship that Imam Hussein alayhi salam and Habib ibn Madahir had was like of a best friend. And that's why, he was known Habib, the beloved, because Imam Hussein loved him so much and he loved Imam Hussein so much. Their friendship was so, so strong. And this friendship is so difficult and rare to find in today's world. His actual journey actually starts way long back of Habib ibn Madahir. So he was from the Asadi tribe. Okay. The Asadi tribe was that tribe who had the privilege to bury Imam Hussein alayhi salam and his companions after he was martyred. So when Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam came to bury Imam Hussein alayhi salam and his companions after the tragic event of Karbala, Bani Asad was the privileged tribe to bury them. And Habib ibn Madahir belongs to that tribe. That's why his name is Habib ibn Madahir al-Asadi. Now, Habib ibn Madahir, he had the privilege to be Rasulullah's companion, also Imam Ali alayhi salam's companion, Imam Hassan alayhi salam's companion, up until the reign of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. So he lived throughout these generations, and that's why he was pretty old by the time when he was in Karbala when he met Imam Hussein alayhi salam. But look at his loyalty. This is what we're looking at today, the loyalty. Throughout those generations and years, he supported the Ahlul Bayt alayhim assalam. Do you know, when he was a young lad and when Imam Hussein alayhi salam was a child, it was observed by Rasulullah that wherever Imam Hussein alayhi salam left his footprints, Janabi Habib ibn Madahir alayhi salam used to take that dirt of sand and put it on his head. So nobody was understanding why would he do that. But Rasulullah embraced this and he loved him. And later on, when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed away, Habib ibn Madahir alayhi salam joined Imam Ali alayhi salam and supported Imam Ali, and of course, was with the wilaya and everything, and became a true follower of the Islamic sect. He also participated in all the battles that Imam Ali alayhi salam fought. Now you can imagine all the battles while the Prophet was alive and even after the Prophet passed away. So all the battles of Imam Ali, for example, this is Nahrawan, Safin, Jamal, he was there. and he was a prominent student of Imam Ali alayhi salam. Now, let me tell you a very beautiful fact about Habib ibn Madahir that you might not know. You know, he had a lot of knowledge and ilm. And the main ilm that he learned under Imam Ali alayhi salam was the ilm of manaya and balaya. What is manaya and balaya? Manaya means when one has the knowledge of how a person is going to die or get killed and when exactly. So he had that knowledge. And balaya is the knowledge when one has the ilm of what a person will be afflicted with in the near future. So even Maytham Tammar, he also had this knowledge because they were the students of Imam Ali alayhi salam. You know, we shouldn't be surprised and ask, oh, you know, like, is this allowed or this is so controversial? This is like against, no, this is because they were students of Imam Ali, and we know Imam Ali had ilm laduni, so this is not something to be surprised about. After that, Habib ibn Madahir alayhi salam joined Imam Hassan all the way till his martyrdom. Now, after when Imam Hussein alayhi salam's time came to reign and everything, so there was a chance in Kufa for him to govern. And however, we all know how the people of Kufa betrayed Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And who came to know about this? Janab Muslim ibn Aqil alayhi salam. So when Janab Muslim ibn Aqil alayhi salam was martyred, and when he wanted to send the message to Imam Hussein alayhi salam of not coming to Kufa because of the betrayal of people, that is the time when Janabe Habib ibn Madahir and Janabe Muslim ibn Osaja had to sneak their way out to Karbala in order to support Imam Hussein alayhi salam. So what happened during that time in Karbala? Now, when they were preparing for the battlefield, Imam Hussein alayhi salam gave the flag, the center forward and the right wing flag to Janabe Hadrate Abbas alayhi salam. And when it came time for the announcing of the giving of the left wing flag, everybody was asking, who is it going to be? Who is Hussein going to give this flag to? And Imam Hussein alayhi salam said that that person is yet to arrive. And that was Janabe Habib ibn Madahir. Habib ibn Madahir was so old by then, but still his loyalty was so true. He fell before Imam Hussein alayhi salam to the ground. And he said that, here I am, my beloved Hussein, I'm here for you. And at that time, Janabe Zainab, she sent salams and regards for Janabe Habib. And Habib alayhi salam said that what a day has come upon the household of the Ahlul Bayt and the ladies, that the lady Zainab is sending salam upon me. So he said, please do not fear or grieve, for I, Habib, am here. And eventually, that is how they fought and they got killed. He was killed, he was martyred. My friends, the message that we are taking from the life of Habib ibn Madahir, the moral of all this that we've spoken about today, is that how loyal are you today to the true message of Islam? Because you and I, today, we are the Habib ibn Madahir of this time. To what extent am I supporting the right and the falsehood? When it comes to speaking ill about a friend, for example, maybe someone's gossiping about a friend of mine, and even if I'm sitting and talking about that person, I need to ask myself, am I really a true friend of that friend of mine? So today, when we see social media, again, it's very important to realize, what is the value of our relationships? Am I just doing this to people please, or am I really a true friend of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam? So we are the Habib ibn Madahir day in and out. When we make any decision in our life, this is what Habib ibn Madahir teaches us. Because yes, he chose the right path. Do you think it was easy to choose the right path? Do you think it is easy to always choose the right path? No, it's not. There are always trials and tribulations to it. Um, Yazid had such a huge army. There were so many against the 72. If I and you were there, we would say, oh my God, look, that party, that team has got more people. And so I should ditch this gang because, they've got few people and I know I'm going to be defeated. So let me do that. But no, this is what we learn. The message of Karbala is to fight against oppression. and to protest for the right thing. And so if you see that, you can't beat them, it's better to leave them, right? Because it's better to die the death of indignity and honor than to support the wrong, the oppression, the tyranny. So this is what Janabi Habib al Madahir teaches us. And so even for young students out there, when you're, in your friend circles, I know that everybody has their own living style and everything. There are youths today, age 14 onwards and all, up to 18, involved in smoking, vaping, and going to clubs, and I don't know what all these things. Okay, so again, it's a time for you to introspect. That if Habib ibn Madahir was present today, would you be doing something like that with him? Or if Imam Hussein was present, would you be doing something like that? Again, it's like a reflection. You just think about these things. When we are attending like parties, with a lot of drinking and all of that. So, if there's a good friend whom you really care about, are you going to like encourage them to drink? So you have to ask yourself this question, or are you going to tell them that, it's not good, like it's not good for you, because I care for you. Because I care for you, I wouldn't want you to get any sort of harm, or any sort of consequences. So a few gestures, they go a long way. A few thoughts, good thoughts, really help a friend out. So let's think about this again and be the Habib ibn Madahir of today. Thank you very much. Jazakumullah for tuning on today's program. And inshallah, we will be having more upcoming series for the next days of Muharram. Please make sure to give me your feedback. If you have any ideas or suggestions, please do let me know. Thank you. This is your host Sakina Habib. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.